You've hooked up a premium reactive power attenuator to your classic tube amplifier. An attenuator is a device built to safely absorb your amplifier's wattage so you can run the amp hot without deafening volume. Or perhaps you've loaded a perfect digital impulse response into your modeler. An impulse response is a mathematical snapshot of a vintage speaker cabinet. You turn the volume down to bedroom levels, and instantly your guitar lost its physical weight. It lost its dynamic punch, and it lost that organic throatiness you feel when playing loud. Most guitarists assume their digital modeling software is failing them. They assume their attenuator cannot capture the magic of vacuum tubes. The physics proves you are actually neglecting the mechanical breakdown of paper and copper. True high-volume tone relies entirely on these components physically failing under stress.
Most guitarists buy expensive overdrive pedals to solve this volume problem. They constantly upgrade their vacuum tubes to recreate the compression of a cranked stack at low volumes. The amplifier circuit is not the problem, and your equalization settings are not broken. Here at the Tone Manual, engineers have found that a speaker cone behaves as a completely different physical machine when pushed to its thermal limits. It stops operating efficiently and starts mechanically fighting the electrical signal. Recreating this violent physical behavior at low volumes requires zero money. It simply requires a strict understanding of how a standard voice coil reacts to extreme heat.
The reality of power compression begins the moment your amplifier pushes high voltage into your cabinet. Your speaker's voice coil is the tightly wound copper wire cylinder suspended inside the heavy magnet assembly. This coil converts electrical energy into mechanical movement. Moving coil loudspeakers suffer from extreme inherent inefficiency. Less than 5% of your amplifier's electrical energy actually becomes sound. The remaining 95% is converted directly into heat. It behaves exactly like an old incandescent light bulb. An incandescent bulb wastes most of its electrical power by getting extremely hot to the touch instead of just creating light. This extreme heat physically alters the properties of the copper wire inside the speaker motor.
As you push more power into the cabinet, the temperature of this copper wire rapidly spikes. It frequently passes 200 degrees Celsius, which is nearly 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The physical fact is that as copper wire heats up, its electrical resistance increases by approximately 72%. This massive resistance physically chokes the flow of electrical current from your amplifier, which directly results in a 4.7 decibel drop in the loudspeaker's output sensitivity. You are putting the exact same power into the system, but the physical material is aggressively stealing your volume. The speaker simply refuses to convert the extra voltage into sound.
The direct consequence of this thermal bottleneck is a condition known as power compression. To deliver any increase in volume, your amplifier now has to present a proportionally higher voltage. This extra voltage is required to overcome the increased electrical resistance of the hot wire. Pushing this higher voltage generates even more heat within the voice coil, which creates a compounding cycle of inefficiency that suffocates your tone. Your loud signal is compressed not by an electronic circuit, but by the physical limitations of boiling copper wire. The physics shows a very simple rule governing this interaction. The hotter the motor mechanism gets, the quieter it gets.
This thermal resistance connects directly to amplifier sag. Sag is the transient voltage drop and delayed recovery in an amplifier's power supply. When you strike a heavy, low-frequency transient attack on your guitar, the power section draws massive current to force the speaker to move. This sudden demand causes the power supply voltage to drop instantly. The gigantic capacitors in the amp discharge their stored electrical energy. Capacitors act exactly like temporary storage tanks for electricity. These capacitors only recover their full charge gradually after the sustained note begins to ring out. This creates a distinct physical envelope that alters how the amplifier feels under your fingers, introducing a spongy, highly tactile compression to the initial attack.
This voltage drop is identical in principle to turbo lag in a combustion engine. You step on the gas, experience a momentary delay as pressure builds, and then feel the power surge forward. In your amplifier, the initial pick attack passes through loudly, but the sustained volume ducks slightly before swelling back up. This volume ducking effect is most pronounced at the speaker's resonance frequency. The resonant frequency is the specific low pitch where the speaker cone naturally wants to vibrate with the most mechanical efficiency. This creates a spike in impedance, which is the speaker's natural resistance to the amplifier's alternating current. At this frequency, the speaker demands the most current, which forces the power supply to discharge the most energy.
The heat in the copper voice coil is only half of the equation. The extreme volume also violently alters the physical behavior of the paper cone itself. At low volumes, a speaker cone operates as a rigid, uniform piston. It pushes air evenly in a straight line to produce a perfectly clean waveform. Every inch of the paper moves in complete unison with the voice coil. Extreme acceleration at high volumes forces the thin paper mass to physically bend. It loses its structural rigidity under the immense pressure. The cone can no longer respond fast enough to the massive electrical impulses without warping under its own mechanical momentum. This violent physical stress causes severe mechanical deformation across the surface of the paper cone. The paper fails to maintain a perfect piston wave, meaning the center of the cone moves outward while the outer edges physically lag behind. Instead of a single unified sound wave, the speaker generates separate, chaotic, non-rigid vibrations along its outer perimeter. The physical material of the speaker is literally fighting against itself to reproduce the signal. These conflicting vibrations introduce harsh distortions that were never present in the amplifier circuit. You are hearing the sound of paper structurally surrendering to the laws of motion.
This physical deterioration is the direct cause of cone cry. Cone cry is an audible mechanical defect within the speaker. It produces an alien, high metallic ringing noise or a ghost note that completely disrupts your fundamental pitch. Guitarists typically hear this physical failure when bending the high E or B strings around the 12th fret. This specific frequency band excites the structural weakness of the paper, which causes the speaker to emit two clashing pitches simultaneously. You are not hearing a musical harmonic. You are hearing the sound of the paper cone losing its structural integrity and vibrating out of control in separate localized zones.
Most guitarists assume they need to replace their expensive speakers when this occurs. Instead, acoustic engineers use a practical mechanical fix based on physical tension. The solution involves purposefully tightening one or two of the speaker's mounting screws with excess torque. This unequal pressure mechanically warps the metal basket, which is the rigid outer frame holding the speaker assembly together. Warping the basket alters the structural resonance frequency of the entire unit. This shift in physical tension effectively stops the chaotic paper vibrations, which completely cheers the mechanical ghost notes without altering the chord tone of the speaker.
This brings us to the digital dead end that frustrates so many modern players trying to record at home. Guitarists mistakenly believe digital modeling software perfectly captures these violent physical interactions inside their computers. The reality is that a digital impulse response is only a static, linear snapshot of a cold, undriven speaker. It is a mathematical recording of a speaker operating well within its safe, low-volume limits. It's completely devoid of the heat, stress, and structural breakdown that actually defines heavy guitar tone. You are essentially playing a perfect photograph of a speaker that is resting comfortably.
A static, digital file fundamentally cannot replicate a 72% electrical resistance increase in a boiling copper wire. It cannot simulate the transient discharging of power supply capacitors that creates the tactile feeling of amplifier sag. It is mathematically blind to the dynamic impedance shifting that occurs when a hot speaker fights back against an amplifier's output. Digital models completely omit the violent mechanical warping and subsequent cone cry of a stressed paper cone. Because these forces are omitted, your digital tone remains mathematically sterile and artificially perfect. It captures the sound, but it completely ignores the physics. Recreating these missing physical forces at low volumes requires an engineering-based emulation strategy. You don't need to purchase more expensive gear. You can restore real speaker physics at zero cost by inserting a standard compressor pedal into your effects loop directly after the preamplifier. The compressor acts as a mechanical substitute. It mimics how a hot voice coil naturally ducts its own electrical gain under heavy load. This specific placement forces the compressor to react to your preamplifier's output exactly like a strained power supply and a heating voice coil. It artificially induces power compression before the signal ever reaches your speakers. To properly emulate this physical failure, you must set the compressor's attack time to roughly 60 milliseconds. The attack time dictates how quickly the compression clamps down on the signal. This specific parameter mirrors the precise latency of a discharging power supply capacitor. You then adjust the sustain knob to act as a master volume. This calibration allows the initial transient pick attack to pass uncompressed before the gain reduction heavily grabs the signal. This 60 millisecond window perfectly mirrors the thermal sag of a cranked tube amplifier, giving you the physical punch of extreme heat without generating any extreme volume. The physics proves that true high-volume tone is simply the sound of mechanical components failing gracefully under extreme heat and stress. You understand the thermal breakdown of copper, you understand the mechanical warping of paper, you can now stop blaming your amplifier for sounding lifeless at bedroom levels. Your digital modeler or your attenuator is giving you exactly what you ask for, which is a clean, mathematically perfect signal devoid of hardware failure. The question you must ask yourself is whether your current setup is accurately simulating an electrical circuit or if it is accurately simulating the physical destruction of the hardware itself.